hello. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money. I am your host today, Athena Gardner. And we joined today with my fellow lovely co-queens, Linda Hustler, the bodacious lifestyle coach, and Erica Lewis, author of Faith in Transition. Now, today we are touching on a fiery topic that has been running rampage through the Black community, honey. And Ebony has taken the charge. She has been a hot topic this whole week and continues to be. So, Ebony K. Williams did an interview and she says Black women have to be masculine. So, we are going to have a healthy and honest discourse on what that is. Is that true? Do Black women have to be masculine? What are the things we need to consider within the realm of femininity and masculinity within our community? So while the video is being queued up, because we want to roll that right away, I want to challenge the audience and for those of you who are coming in and to give your thoughts. Do you think, if you're a Black woman, do you think you have to be masculine? How is masculinity and femininity expressed within your life? And for the men, because the men will always show up. The men will always show up. Do you believe, has it been your experience that Black women act in a more masculine way? So we would like to start with Ebony K's video so we can all get on the same page and see what we need to discuss.
A lot of young ladies out here that are men in skirts. I look as feminine as possible because I am trying to overcompensate. I'll own it. I'll be vulnerable. I am trying to visually overcompensate for what I know is a default masculine posture that I walk through the world with every day. Of course I do. You see my taxes. No, I mean, but for real, I got a payroll,
Yeah.
and so when you are leading in this way, when you are providing not just for yourself, but for those around you, your whole community, how are you not masculine in your energy, right?
Yeah.
But to Melissa's point, most of the women I know, especially the Black women, we would love if we didn't have to.
Woo.
What people don't realize.
Soft and pink.
What'd you say?
I want to be soft and pink.
Correct.
Yeah.
What most people don't realize is that most masculine women are masculine by mandate, not by choice.
Yes.
We're masculine because we have been made to be.
Yeah.
We're masculine because if I don't go qualify for this mortgage, if I don't put these kids in the best schools, if I don't really make sure that my neighborhood is safe for me and my children to walk down, it won't be safe.
Okay. So a lot was said. And I will start with you first, Linda, because you are the bodacious lifestyle coach. I know you coach a lot of Black women. I'm sure this has come up at some point in time. Let's answer Ebony's question first. Are Black women forced to be masculine? What are your thoughts?
I disagree. I'm not going to buy into that because we have women who are doing their thing. I don't see Oprah Winfrey, whether you love her or not. I don't think people would say that she's masculine. She's very soft to me. She's handling her business, but I don't think anyone would say that she's masculine, and she's worth like $3 billion plus. We've got Janice Howard, and she has a staffing company. She's been doing her thing for a while. I don't see her as masculine. I believe that the younger, like Ebony is in her 40s. I just turned 61. I believe younger women believe that being powerful or being strong, they equate that to masculinity. And that's unfortunate because it has absolutely nothing to do with that. Confidence makes you powerful. Knowing your stuff makes you powerful. Being prepared, doing the research makes you powerful. And that has absolutely nothing to do with masculinity.
Listen, Linda came and gave a word and set off the tone, honey. And I will pivot this question back to you, Erica. Ebony said that she felt like she was forced to do this. She felt like if she did not do it, then it would not happen as far as the things that she's liking to achieve in her life. What do you think about that? Do you think Black women are forced to be masculine? And if they do not take on that type of energy, that means that their quality of life would go low?
I think we need to look at the fact that we all have masculine and feminine energy. And I think that Black women are called to be in their feminine energy when it's necessary and to be in their masculine energy when it's necessary. Unfortunately, um, the things that we have to do, the call to action, because there's nobody else, showing up to get things done, it can appear that we're being masculine. And a lot of times in the boardroom or in the office, when a Black woman says no, no, I'm not taking any overtime. No, I'm not interested in that project. No, I'm not interested in XYZ. It appears that it's often said that, oh, she's being masculine or she's being difficult to work with. And a lot of times it has just because we say the word no. So, no, I don't think Black women are forced to be in their masculine energy. I think that when we speak our voice, some people may not like it and it can be offensive. Again, when the word no is brought up in a conversation, because Black women are just supposed to be so passive and just, yeah, be happy that someone asked us to be in the room or be grateful because an opportunity was presented to us. Well, the opportunity may not be something that I'm interested in or that Black woman is interested in. It's not that she's being masculine, it's that she's being feminine in her energy to protect her space. So I think it's misconstrued oftentimes that when we are protecting ourselves simply by saying no or not taking on a project or moving on from a situation, when we elect to make a decision to protect ourselves, I think that is misconstrued as being in masculine energy. So now I don't think Black women are moving in masculine energy. I think Black women are moving in the energy of getting things done.
Right, Erica. So you actually touched on something that I've had as notes, right? Because I was thinking, are we just more defensive and that is being misconstrued as masculine? And then
Absolutely.
even within the defense, are we more defensive because we are put in situations where we have to defend more?
Yes. See, I think what happens is, and I don't, it could just be me, but I know I am sometimes situations will recycle in your life. And I always say, oh, I've seen this movie before and I know how it ends. Or I've seen this movie before and I know the script. See, you have to always know when something happens, you have to realize, like, hey, that could happen again. So how you respond to it, okay? You may not necessarily want the same response, or you may not want the same behavior or action to happen. So you have to be very aware of your response and your reaction to things. So yeah, I think defense plays a big part of it. And we sometimes come up with preconceived notions because of past experiences, and who's protecting us? Black women are the most unprotected people on the planet. I'm sorry, that's just how I feel. We are unprotected emotionally, we are unprotected financially, we are unprotected spiritually, and we're unprotected physically. So we have to defend ourselves and take care of ourselves, because if we don't, who will?
Well, Malcolm X did say that the Black woman is the most unprotected person. So, but I will pivot to you, Linda. I will ask you the same question. Are we defensive, and is that being misconstrued as masculine? And are we really even put in situations where we have to defend more?
So here's what I will say to that. Why does defensive have to be equated with masculinity? Why can't defensive mean that you're feminine and you're being defensive as a feminine woman? So I believe that part of the challenge that we're facing is who defines what something means. and who are we to accept that meaning? I believe that we have to be defensive, but at the same time, I don't equate that to being a masculine trait or a feminine trait. I believe once upon a time it was masculine because we lived in a different time. We're talking about cavemen and, the saber-toothed tiger and all that kind of thing. We have evolved as a people, as a society. And so we've got to think about the meaning of words, and do we put a feminine or masculine connotation to them, or are they just a word now, and based on how you need to move and shake in this thing called life, that's how we pivot.
I love that. And that actually touched on another question. But before I go deeper, I would like to remind you guys that you are watching Flying Nubian Money. I am Athena, your host for today, and I have my fellow co queens, Erica Lewis, author of Faith in Transition, and Linda Hustler, life coach. And you can find her at speaktolinda.com. We are having a healthy and honest discourse on Black women and masculinity. But if you want to see us today or any other day we are live on the show, please text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948. You can also find freebies and other goodies at flynubianmoney.com. And if you like to listen to us on the go, you can listen to us on Spotify. So you were touching on the social constructs that we have around the word masculine. And I want to just bring up a definition because, we just throw words around and we like clarity over here. Okay. We like clarity over here. So masculinity, right, means having qualities or an appearance traditionally associated with men or boys. Masculinity is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with men and boys. Masculinity can be theoretically understood as socially constructed. And there's also evidence that some behaviors considered masculine are influenced by both cultural factors and biological factors. So I just wanted to put that out there that a lot of what we view as masculine and feminine are societal and cultural constructs. And the question I have for the panel, because I wrote this down, honey, are gender roles and norms serving us as a society, and should they transition as we live in a new world and time? So I'm going to pivot that question to you, Linda.
I do believe that there's a time and a place for gender roles. Let's be clear. I am not to say that women have to always be masculine, men be feminine. I just believe there will be times and places where we have to make adjustments. We have to become chameleons depending on what's going on with us. I believe that is naturally happening and will continue to naturally happen. Having said that, to say that we have to stay in a particular energy or a particular state, I believe is detrimental to us because it doesn't allow me, who sometimes I have to operate in my masculine energy. I don't then want to feel like if I'm not operating in my masculine energy, I am a cream puff, or I am a doormat, or I am a sacrificial lamb. I should be able to, depending on the circumstances, course correct, shape shift, whatever you want to call it, and still be a full-fledged woman. I am a feminine woman, 100%. I love perfume, I love makeup, I love all of the things that we equate femininity with. However, when necessary, I will pull up my boots and, put on my construction hat, so to speak, and get out there and operate in my masculine energy. But I don't particularly care for that energy, to be honest. So I do all that I can so that I can really operate more in my femininity.
Listen, Linda says she's every woman, honey, 100% feminine. Okay. So, Erica, I will also pivot the question to you. Do you think the gender roles and norms are serving us as a society, or even the Black community? Is that really serving us? And should we transition as we live in a new world and time?
I think we ought to have faith in transition. Things things are changing. I mean, I my like I said in previous interviews, my parents divorced, and my father, once my parents divorced, my father moved overseas, and we were in a single parent household, my brother and I. It was just the three of us, my mother, my brother, and I. My brother being the youngest, so you have my mother, then me as the oldest child, a girl, and then my baby brother. And then, so my mother was forced into a position where she had to do everything, where she was judge and jury, where she worked in the police department. She was a minister, so she was forced into positions of authority, which also can be misconstrued as masculine when women are in positions of authority. But a lot of times, women are forced into these positions. I don't know one woman who would want to have to be a single mother after getting married and being married 18 years. And then he wakes up one day, as my daddy did, and decided he wanted to be married anymore. And now they're divorced. This is not the pattern. This is not the plan that she had. I started working at 15. I'm sure she didn't want her daughter at 15 to have to start working. I was going to private schools. I had ballet lessons. I had this, I had that. And all of that came to a crashing halt once divorce hit. So I think we need to start looking at the position that Black women are being put in. And it's the position of making decisions. And the world and society may not like the fact that of the decisions that we have to make, but we're being forced to make these decisions. We're being forced to think like a boss. So what should I do? And how is this going to look? And how am I going to make this? And I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm an adult woman at this point. I don't like having to take out the garbage because I feel like I shouldn't have to. But guess what? Ain't nobody else in the house to do it, so I can take my
Listen,
garbage out.
I'm right there with you, Erica. Every time I take the trash out, I say, I need a man. Like, I need.
Look, I need to rent a man.
Like, oh,
I need to
Athena.
rent a husband. I need a husband on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I need to come take out the trash. I need him to vacuum. I need him to do some things. But in all seriousness, there are just certain things as a woman. I just feel like I'm doing all of that. I'm tired of having to take my car to get the oil change. I'm tired of going to. Let me tell you something. When I lived in LA, I'm originally from Jersey, and in Jersey, it's against the law to pump your own gas. So when I moved to LA and had to pump my own gas, I got the reality check of my life. I was like, this is man's work. Why are you pumping gas? But I didn't know that New Jersey and I think Oregon are the only two states where it's illegal to pump your own gas. So I saw women, there were women teaching me how to pump my gas. And here we are. Is it masculine for a woman to pump her own gas? But so you're either going to be masculine and pump your own gas, or you're going to be sitting on the side of the road waiting for AAA. It's like, what are we going to do? And it's the same thing with life. Are we going to pump the gas of our life, or are we going to sit on the side of the road and be a damsel in distress? Like, what are we to do?
Right, exactly. You have to, like Linda said, you have to flex and rise to the occasion of what happens. So I'm going to do a quick reset. For those of you who are just joining us, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, and we are your queens for today. I am Athena, CPA and women's wealth coach. We have Linda Husser, the bodacious lifestyle coach, and we also have Erica, author of Faith in Transition. In today's topic, we are talking about Black women and masculinity and how that shows up. Now, we are going to discuss what I think that our lovely, lovely subscriber, Danette Mitchell, commented. She commented, and we're going to highlight that on the screen. In some situations, Black women are putting themselves in those positions, right? And this actually is reflecting a slight discourse we had before the show started. And I want to kick it off to you, Linda, because we discussed women being accountable for what they choose and decide for their life. Are Black women in a lot of these situations taking on the mantle of masculine roles? Is that something that we are purposely putting ourselves in those positions when we don't need to be?
I love Danette Mitchell. I know Danette Mitchell, and she is a woman of a certain age. So see, we come from this other era, and we have been sold a bill of goods. Somehow along the way, we felt like if we got the college degree and then don't go ahead and get that master's, and ooh, if you get that PhD, you are really doing something. And somehow, somewhere along the way, we really bought into, a lot of us really bought into this whole thing of, I don't need a man. And it's just like, all right, well, you may not need a man, but would it be kind of cool to have one around to, like, I don't know, take out the trash, bring you some flowers, and then you'll have someone say, oh, I can bring my own flowers, like the song that Miley Cyrus sang. So we've got all these movements going on that's basically saying, I got this, I don't need you, I'm all that I need. It's me, myself, and I, me. And then there's still this undercurrent of defensiveness where we say out of our mouth, I don't need nobody. But then when I hear you speaking, I can really hear that you are really not excited and happy that this is where you are. So we've got to decide who we are, what is it that we truly want, and be okay to have the PhD, to have the master's degree, to have these certificates and trophies and all of that, and still say, and it would really be nice to have a man to go along with all that too.
Because I think you also touched on what Ebony said, right? Which was she felt like she would love to not have to do all of that. Like I think Melissa Ford also said in the video she would love to be soft and pink. But I guess what we're challenging now is who said we still couldn't be soft and pink while we're doing these things, while we're getting these degrees, right? Because as a woman who has the degrees and did all those things, I still think I'm like one of the most feminine women I know. And I never felt like I don't need a man. I don't know if it's because, I grew up with my dad and he's very much masculine man. He is a Jamaican, I can do 50-11 things type of man. So I don't know if that played a role in it. I always felt like men were valuable. But I would like to pivot the question to you, Erica. If you feel like, as women, did we put that on ourselves? Did we feel like, okay, since I have to go hunt, kill the animal, cook it up, like, are we deciding that all these masculine things that we're doing, are we taking that on for ourselves?
You know, if you ever watch Wild Kingdom, if you ever watch Animal Kingdom, rather, you'll always see, I'm a Leo, so lions are my favorite animals. The female lions, they go out, hunt, kill, and bring the food back. And the male lions are there protecting the circumference. Male lions typically don't do anything until it's time to protect the pride when he's challenged. And I think we are getting to a place where we're starting to see black women are turning into that female lion more and more and more and more and more. And unfortunately, as she's going out there to bring the food, as she's going out there, killing it and bringing it back home, unfortunately, there's nobody at the home front to protect anything. So now she's got to get it, cook it, fry it up. Now she got to protect it too. So no, I think that black women need a break. is technically what we need. And I really think we're turning into Wild Kingdom. And it's a survival mode. We are in an essence of survival.
I actually think that we are in an essence of survival, and I think that we're doing things because we have to in a lot of sense. When you said that black women needed to take a rest, I was looking for my tambourine. I was like, where's my tambourine so I can shake it? in agreement, but it also brings a point on the situation of whether or not we're doing it because we want to or we feel forced to.
Mhm.
Are we also doing or taking on that energy for those of us who are because we feel like if we don't do it, the men are not doing it? And is that seen as a failure of men today in the society that create conditions for a woman to not be feminine? I
You
want to
know,
touch. Uh, I
I'm
want to
sorry.
touch on Intense Passions comment says that no, we've had to overcompensate for the dereliction of men's lack of masculine energy.
Yeah,
Erica, do you feel like that is what's also happening?
that is what is happening, and that's what's been happening. I could recollect to some movies back in the 70s. If we think about Claudine, that woman had 6 children. She didn't get 6 children by herself. She said in the script of that movie, she said, I had 2 marriages and 2 almost marriages. So she remained a full-time mother, and then she ended up becoming a full-time mother, a full-time father, and an all-around parent. She just couldn't win. So women, I don't believe we're not putting ourselves in the line of fire of masculine energy. It's like we start this journey with company, and then end up company then kind of derails. and company is gone, and now we're staying the path, we're staying the course, but we didn't start this journey alone, a lot of women. So no, I don't think that women are jumping in the line of fire of masculinity. I think a lot of women are just continuing on the journey of what was started with a companion, and now they're like, okay, I'm a single mother. Okay, this was a business that we started, and now, okay, I gotta finish it. Now we have 3 kids. I gotta raise these kids. Or the woman that's in college. There's nothing wrong with the woman wanting to get her PhD. Why, if that's been a lifelong dream, if she wanted to be a doctor, if she wanted to be in an attorney, there is nothing wrong with that. And I think we need, as Black women, we need that support. I don't understand why it is we can see so many Black women that support Black men that go to college to get their PhDs or to get their become esquires at the end of their name. But then on the opposite side of that, when a Black woman is looking for those same letters, there's no one to support her.
Right. I actually want to touch on James Adam T. Tunchi's comment. He said, Black women be putting themselves in dangerous situations all the damn time. Black women in today's society have little to no regard for Black men, hence why protecting them is not worth our while. Now, Linda, I know we discussed how Black women felt like they were forced to take on these positions, but do you think that all of that, which is a traditional masculine male role, do you think all of that is because there's a trust issue between the men and the woman, meaning that women of this day and time, maybe your generation did a much better job, Linda. I think that might actually be the case. But do women not trust that the men won't do it if they're not taking on that energy and that charge? Because look at what James said. He was like, we don't feel like the need to protect them is worth our while anymore. So if the men aren't feeling that way, maybe the women feel like I have to protect myself then. Linda.
Well, first of all, that is such an overgeneralization. That is just such an ignorant statement, because basically what he's saying is every single Black woman in the world is whack and isn't worth protecting because they're not getting with the program. So I would think that poor James is dating white women or Asian, probably Asians. He really needs to get, he's probably dating Asian women. And so he feels comfortable and secure saying that. As sad as that is to me, I do believe that we do as women have work to do. And the saddest part about that is a lot of us are driven by materialistic situations, the bag, who got the money, who doesn't have the money, and we're not being as realistic, I think, as we could be. Having said that, I still believe that if you desire to get your higher education and you want somebody who also has higher education, I think that is okay for you to have that desire, but just go in knowing that the average Black man is not a PhD. They may have their master's degree, and I'm just keeping it real. And are you okay with that? I do believe that then also becomes more in focus than anything else. But as far as what James has to say, James probably don't even have a job. He has an avatar up there. He's not even showing his real face. Okay. So he's not even coming correct.
All right, Erica, you have a message for James too, and then we'll reset.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, because that avatar, it was the avatar. Sir, Black women are not worthy. And again, I agree with Linda. Yes, you have a preference, sir. And guess what? Since you have a preference, Black women prefer that you stay over there. Because it's mind-boggling to me that then you can date who you want to date, love who you want to love, marry who you want to marry. But see, when you have a preference, when you have a preference, and then things don't go in the direction that you necessarily want them to go, because see, that preference has an agenda as well. You serve a purpose, sir. So your preference has a purpose for you. And 9 times out of 10, once your purpose has been met, you will be excommunicado from your preference. Now, there are some of them that, you may end up married 30, 40, 50 years, and bravo. But a lot of times those preferred relationships, they stay together to save face, because I know quite a few of them, and a lot of them, the ones that are still together, they're saving face. So James, stay with your preference. When it all ends, don't come back across the street, because we're not inviting you to the cookout, and the porch light will be off.
Oh my God. Listen, Miracle Tech might have a point, okay? James might be the ox. James might be a Wahite in disguise, honey. Listen, because look at what Jeezy's going through. Look at what Jonathan Majors went through.
Look at what Jonathan Majors went through. And now he's back across the street. Somebody saved him a chair and a plate at the cookout. I don't know if I would have. But you know, welcome back, Jonathan.
He's lucky he has Megan.
But if you think about it, Jonathan Majors, he has to start all over again.
He does. That's the price you pay sometimes. So if you are joining us, we are Fly Nubian Money. We are here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, you are joined with the lovely queens, myself, Athena Gardner, Linda Husser, the Bodacious Life Coach, and Erica Lewis, author of Faith in Transition. We are discussing the spicy topic of, do Black women have to be masculine, according to what Eboni K. Williams have said? If you would like to listen to us, please subscribe, like, and comment in the channel, but also text the word Queens, that is QUEENS, to 87948 so you do not miss when we are live, honey, and when we have freebies to give. Also, if you are busy or like to listen to us on the go, you can listen to us now on Spotify. So make sure that you are tuned in and plugged in so you do not miss what is going on in your world. Now, for those of us who are just joining us, we are talking about Black women and masculinity. And this topic has sparked a lot on these internet streets, honey, and with Eboni K leaving the charge. So we are actually going to replay the video that sparked this lovely and healthy and honest discourse that we've been having.
A lot of young ladies out here that are men in skirts. I look as feminine as possible because I am trying to overcompensate. I'll own it. I'll be vulnerable. I am trying to visually overcompensate for what I know is a default masculine posture that I walk through the world with every day. Of course I do. You see my taxes. No, I mean, but for real, I got a payroll, and so when you are leading in this way, when you are providing not just for yourself, but for those around you, your whole community, how are you not masculine in your energy, right?
Yeah.
But to Melissa's point, most of the women I know, especially the black women, we would love if we didn't have to. Woo. What people don't realize. What'd you say?
I want to be soft and pink.
Correct. Yeah. What most people don't realize is that most masculine women are masculine by mandate, not by choice.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're masculine because we have been made to be. Yeah. We're masculine because if I don't go qualify for this mortgage, if I don't put these kids in the best schools, if I don't really make sure that my neighborhood is safe for me and my children to walk down, it won't be safe.
Listen, that was a passionate, a lot of passion coming from our sister Ebony here. So I actually want to touch on something here. And we actually want to pull up the graphic of a strong Black woman, because a strong Black woman has been something that we have carried on. So the myth of the strong Black woman is the idea that Black women should be proud, no nonsense, and wise in the face of hardship. This myth can lead Black women to believe that they can and should do everything by themselves and to avoid acknowledging their vulnerabilities. Now, I actually want to touch on that last part of that because I think this is very important for us to have a conversation around. I think that that archetype of the strong Black woman has hurt a lot of Black women in some ways from the fact of our vulnerabilities, acknowledging that we have them, being safe to show them, and to not let things harden us as a society or even people in our own communities try to put on us. So, Linda, you are a lifestyle coach. I know you coach a lot of women. Is vulnerability an issue that Black women face?
Yes, it is. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the others, they getting the therapy they need. They're doing the life coaching, the group coaching. They're doing what they need to do. That does not mean everyone, but for some reason, if Jesus can't solve it, then we're willing to just go toe to toe with whatever it is. It's also, a lot of people see vulnerability as a weakness, and to me, it is the most powerful, one of the most powerful states that one can be in. Number one, because vulnerability is contagious. When someone cries, even if you don't even know what's going on, you might just walk into a situation, you just like, you just start, kind of tearing up, and you might be like, well, why am I crying? I don't even know what's going on, because it's contagious. So when you're vulnerable and you allow people to see that, yes, I feel, yes, that hurt my feelings, yes, that pains me, yes, that made me feel some kind of way, that is actually very powerful because most people will not do it. So when we see vulnerability, it just really draws us towards people. So I encourage everyone that I know, feel your feelings. Stop ducking your head in the sand and pretending like that's not what you're feeling. Give yourself the opportunity, the permission to actually feel your feelings. Stop being distracted or distracting yourself from how you feel. That is not healthy. That will not make you whole, and it will keep you in a state of always trying to cover up. Let it go. We got to let some of this stuff really go. And I believe that what Ebony K is doing is not allowing herself to be vulnerable. Okay, you got your business and you support a lot of people. That's awesome. But talk about how tiring it can be. Talk about how exhausted you feel sometimes. Talk about, and there are times when I would love to go out to dinner with my man. But, for whatever reason, that just hasn't happened for me yet. Stop making it seem like being vulnerable or being feminine is a liability, because it really is an asset to be able to say how it really is and how you really feel.
Thank you for that, Linda. And even as I look at my own life, like yesterday, I went to the dentist and I don't know, I was just feeling emotional. I actually cried in the dentist office and I was trying to hold it back so much, but I was just like, You know what? I'm tired of that. We've talked about authentic living, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to pretend that things are fine when things are not fine. And the women in the dentist office were so kind, so understanding. End up having to reschedule because I was just not feeling great. And they extended compassion. And what I would like to say to everyone is I know the world is a crazy place and you have to project images so people don't try you or disrespect you out here. But what I also would like to offer is that if you do not show, and I'm speaking to both the men and the women, because I think the men have their own vulnerability issues as well. If you do not show vulnerability in instances, especially when you are not feeling the best, then you lose the opportunity for others to show you compassion and to give you the emotional nutrition that you're seeking. So I actually want to pivot you back to you, Erica, about that. Do we have a vulnerability problem with Black women, but also Black men, if you want to touch on that as well? Is that an issue that we have within the community? And is that really the crux of the problems that we're facing?
I think vulnerability is some of the issue. I mean, when you have black women, when I know that there've been instances rather where I've been vulnerable, and it's like, oh, what's wrong with her? She crying? Oh, I thought you was the strong black woman. And that title, that reference, I don't even know where that came from. And I'm more than sure it wasn't a black woman that started it, saying the strong black woman. I'm sure it was not a black woman who came up with that title. Because at some point you get tired of being strong. You get tired of having to be the backbone. You get tired of having to be the one to think. You get tired of having to be the one to solve the problem. And you just sometimes, black women, we just don't have the time to be vulnerable. We don't have the time to be vulnerable with ourselves. Being vulnerable is actually being honest and saying, you know what, I don't feel like it today. And no, it's not that I'm sick. No, I don't have a fever. No, I'm not coughing. I just don't want to. And we don't know how to do that with ourselves. We don't know how to be honest with ourselves. We can't even be vulnerable with ourselves. So until we can be vulnerable with ourselves, then we can be vulnerable with other people. And with vulnerability, you step into your power. And once you step into that power through being vulnerable, you now are able to set healthy boundaries. And that's where the give and the take. But you have to start that with yourself. I am a huge advocate for being self-aware and self-knowledge, because you cannot. Sometimes we're projecting the issues onto ourselves. We are our own problem. So I'm always an advocate for no, 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 no. Start with you. When you start with you, you heal you, you fix you, then you can start attracting the right people that are supposed to be near you or good for you. So yeah, vulnerability, stepping to your power, creating boundaries. That is my tribe trio. Vulnerable, power, boundaries, my tribe trio.
Yes, I love that. That's probably going to be in the next book, girl. If you are joining us, we are Fly Nubian Money. We are here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to subscribe to us by hitting that like and subscribe button, but also to texting the word Queens, that is QUEENS, to 87948. I'm Athena, and I'm joined with your co-queens today, Linda Husser and Erica Lewis, and we are discussing Black women and femininity. Now, I want to pivot the conversation to the money, okay? to the bag, okay? So I want to discuss this with you ladies. So, do the sprinkle girls have a point with dating a provider man? Are women saying that they want to rest in traditional roles so they don't have to take on all that masculine energy? I want to pivot this question to you first, Linda, about that. What are your thoughts on the sprinkle level up girls saying that, you know what? I'm fine with the gender roles. You be the provider man so I can rest in my femininity as a homemaker at home.
I'm here for it. I'm here for you to go out and get what it is that makes you healthy, happy, and whole. If that means that you want someone to bring home the bacon and you fry it up, if that means that you want to be beautiful, because one thing that I have noticed about the Sprinkle girls, they take their role very seriously. They are in shape. They look phenomenal because they understand what these men want. I believe that a lot of the women who are not part of the Sprinkle coalition, they don't want to do all that. They want to do them, and that's cool. That's cool. But I'm 61 years old, and if an 85-year-old man who got his stuff together has his money together, I will be sprinkling him so tough it'll just make his head spin. I'm all for it. Do you do what you need to do to become the person that you need to become? If that means you got to get your lipo on, get you a weave, get some nails, Botox, get you some boobs, plump that booty up, whatever you need to do that. Shave the bunions off so your $300,000 shoes you don't have that imprint on the side. Handle your business. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I would be lying if I said that somebody stepped to me who had their stuff together that I'd be like, well, you know what? I just love being this life coach. And listen, I would have to tell y'all, it's been real. Baby said he don't want me doing all this coaching stuff. We on our way to France. I'll holla. Peace out.
Linda, you had me dying. You had me dying. And watch me in the background. I was doing all this stuff. I'm like, I'm a sprinkle girl. I don't even know. I'm just Athena. But anyways, I want to pivot this to you, Erica. Do the sprinkle level up girls have a point? Do they like, you know what? Let the man run the business and let me stay home and look cute and manage at home. And then I want to go into a stat after you say that.
You know what? I really wish, I really wish I could be home all day. I really wish. I wish I could stumble across him, Lord, lay him at my feet. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready. I really am. I am ready. Sprinkle, I am ready. However, what concerns me about the younger generation of the sprinkle, I'm going to sprinkle a little information. I knew a woman back in the day when I was in my 20s, mid 20s, early 30s. Yeah, James is back. Anyway, I was in my mid 20s, early 30s, and I had a friend who, she married. She didn't have to do anything. He took care of everything. And that led to an untimely death. He died. She couldn't write a check. She didn't know anything about the bank accounts. She didn't know how to do anything. She didn't know anything about the life insurance. See, there's got to be a balance. So yeah, you can sprinkle over here, but you better be dousing information over here. Yeah, sprinkle. Yeah, that's cute. But douse this information over here. Do we have life insurance? Do we have homeowners insurance? What about this? Are we having kids? Are the kids going to college? Do we have the 928? Do we have the 928 program? Like, what do we have? Like, you have to know some things. You just can't be laying up, getting grapes and having flowers and that's unrealistic. Because if something happens to this man, are you ready to step into the role and take care of yourself? It always goes back to you. Because if you were able to take care of yourself and get all this gorgeousness going to attract this sprinkle life, okay, if something happens to him, are you able to go back and maintain that? Because he was taking care of it. Now, can you maintain what was taken care of? Sprinkle.
Listen, you sprinkled in some gems, honey. And what I would like to say is there's a very superficial aspect of the sprinkle level up, but there is the business aspect of the sprinkle level up, and you want to make sure all the paperwork is together, honey. So marriage deed, life insurance policy on deck, and you need to see okay, you need to see those documents together.
Yes, and honestly, is it being paid? Are you so concerned about getting your lashes and nails done that you are forgetting to pay the insurance?
Listen,
let's just say, because you have some men that are really good, that are into the I'm gonna take care of you, I'm gonna sprinkle all of this on you, and he will come home and lay the money down. As women, do you know what to do with the money? Can you
Right.
take care of the account? Are you more concerned about what's in the safe versus what's in the accounts? Are you more concerned about what's in the safe versus what's in the insurance policy? I mean, what do you consider? Do you know how that business runs? Because if something happens to him, are you just going to let the business fold? I mean, like, sprinkle, sprinkle.
Mhm. Exactly. What is that business succession plan, honey? Listen, so what I want to do now is actually to stimulate the chat because the chat has been going off today, honey. So Sean G comment is that where's Sean G's comment? I think I scrolled up too much. Alpha males aren't concerned in the least bit about how successful a woman is or how much money she makes.
Thank you,
Okay,
Sean. Thank
so
you, Sean.
that's a lot to unpack. So, ladies, what is an alpha male and what is the thinking about women who have their own businesses or making their own money? How do they feel about women? I'll hit it to you, Linda.
Well, what I think Sean G is saying is not that they don't care, or if you have a business, you are no longer able to be with them. What he's saying is they don't care about that. You don't have to have all of that in order to be a contender. I agree with that because I was with an alpha male when I was younger. I really didn't have much of anything but my looks, right? And he could care less about that. Thanks to him, things didn't work out, but thanks to him, I was able to expand and I was being exposed to things that I'm not going to say I would have never been exposed to, but I had never been on a private jet until then. I did not really know what caviar was. We stayed in penthouses and things of that nature, and he could care less about any of that other stuff. To the point of when I was feeling a little concerned about the fact that I didn't really know a lot of things. I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to level up. But as far as him, I was cute. I could speak well. I wouldn't embarrass him when we went to places and we were with all these people who had a lot of different things. I believe that wholeheartedly. Sean G definitely has a great point because most men could care less. They will get your teeth fixed. They will put you in finishing school. They will do all of that if you have the look that they want. And most of them really prefer somebody, if I'm going to keep it all the way real, who doesn't have all that stuff, because then you just have somebody, and y'all don't rip my head off, but somebody that you can mold into what you want. Sometimes, and we out here operating this masculine energy and we've been holding it down for ourselves, it's kind of hard for us to shift when somebody else is coming, because we've had to work for what we got. We had to really get out there and overcome some things. So I believe Sean G is really on to something, and that is something that we definitely need to take into consideration when we speak about masculinity, femininity, and all of the things.
I think that that was a word, Linda, and to be honest with you, that has been my experience as well. I've seen men will pluck a girl out of obscurity and upgrade the whole shebang and turn her into the high value woman of his dreams. And but what I will also say that there's a difference between molding and grooming because a lot of them do the latter. How about you, Erica? How do you feel about Sean G's comment about alpha males and not really being concerned about how successful a woman is?
I agree with him wholeheartedly because alpha males will pour into you. They will pour into you wherever they notice that there's a depletion or where they will see there's a need. They will pour into you because he is a natural leader. That is what he That is what he does. He is here to groom you and give you experiences and show you things and help you get to that level where you need to be, whether it's emotionally, mentally, financially. That is what he does. That is the man that comes into your life that, takes over from where hopefully where your father left off as that alpha male, and he's that leader. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of alpha males out here. So Sean, thank you for your comment.
Thank you, Sean. And I actually want to touch on Jacinta's S. Northington's comment. I've seen a number of Black men on TikTok saying the only woman they go 50-50 with is Black women. They take care of other women 100%. What do you ladies think of this? I'll share my opinions. I think that don't take what people say on the internet to heart, because as someone who has non-Black female friends, Jewish women, regular white women, Asian women, and have seen their life, a lot of those women aren't having all the bills paid by their men. Some of them are paying most of the bills. So that is not necessarily the Black men that I know that are in interracial relationships aren't footing the entire bill of those households either. So that is, I oftentimes feel like the internet just people just throwing things to stir up hate, to stir to get you angry, to be honest with you. How do you feel about that, Linda?
I feel exactly as you said, that there are just some people, their job is to set you off, get comments, clickbait, likes, all of that. There are just some people, that's what they do. And let me just say this, and this is a sad commentary, but I would think that the average Black man can't even pay all the bills. I'm just saying.
That's true, because
I said
only
the average Black
6% of U.S. adults, Black U.S. adults, make 100K or more.
correct.
6%.
So right there, that's just somebody who has probably an issue or a challenge, or they just want, they probably had 5,000 comments on that because they knew that was going to be provocative.
Listen, I love the fan, honey. I was like, "Where's my fan?" I left my fan in the other room. Erica, how about you? How do you feel about the comment that Black men only go 50-50 with Black women and take care of non-Black women 100%? And actually, we'll save that for another time on Fly Moving Money, because we need to have a 50-50 conversation, because that's a topic we need to have a discussion on. But Erica, how do you feel?
You know, to be honest with you, I've never thought that there was anything wrong with 50-50, because I've never thought, sometimes men need a break too. When you're in a healthy relationship, in a healthy environment, that man needs a break too. So I've never thought that there was anything wrong with 50-50, or if he's paying the mortgage and I can take care of the little bills here in the house. I actually know a couple, they've been married, I think almost 20 years. And he told me a few weeks ago, he said, my wife, we've been in this house 15, 16 years, and my wife has never paid a mortgage. He said, and I've never paid the cable bill or the light bill. He said, so I don't know what those bills look like, and she doesn't know what the mortgage looks like. So I think there is a thing as a healthy relationship, understanding that everybody contributes in some way. To say that Black men only do that with Black women, I don't believe that. I think, because there could be any instance, the business could close, and the wife is she has a job, and that job is what really keeps the house afloat until his business can start surviving. So, I think we need to, yeah, that whole 50-50 thing, yeah, that was a little troubling, and I don't believe it. I just don't believe.
Listen, like I said, only 6% of US Black adults make 100K or more. That is a stat from the US Census Bureau. So the reason why I love to give stats, because the numbers paint a different picture than what everyone is kind of throwing out there. So out of, 10 Black adults that you see, less than one of them may make 100K or more. Now, we have had such a lovely discussion with you all about Black women and masculinity. We discussed 50-50. We discussed vulnerability. We discussed this strong Black woman trope that we all inherit as Black women. But I would like to wrap up this show with a lovely bow. Linda, please share your last thoughts and where the good people can find you.
My last thoughts are, please be true to who you are. Be a disruptor, march to your own drumbeat, and blaze your own trail. Don't believe the hype. Be as feminine as you want to be, and you're going to be okay. I can be found at Linda S. Husser on all social media platforms, and speaktolinda.com if you're ready to get unstuck, reinvent yourself, and regret proof your life.
Lovely. And Erica, you contributed greatly to our discussion today. So I know the good people are going to want to know where they can find you. Please share that information and your last thoughts.
Yes, I can be found on all socials at Miss Erica Renee. And, ladies, give yourselves a break. You don't have to be everything to everyone. I'm Every Woman. That was a Shaka Khan song. It does not have to be your anthem. Okay? Sometimes you just need to say no and just give yourself a break and just fall back. And I talk about that in my book, Faith in Transition. And you can find me at faithintransition.com.
Love it, love it. And I am your host today, Athena Gardner. I'm a CPA and women's wealth coach. We discussed a lot of things, but we also discussed the importance of you having your financial life together, whether or not you have a provider man or you have to be like Eboni and me and some of the other ladies with your own business. You do not have to take on masculine energy that you don't want to have. If you're a woman who's interested in leveling up financially, either through creating your own business or finding other strategies for your money, you can find me at wewealthwomen.com. I do have two offers for you at my courses, the New Year, New Wealth and the Goddess Guide to Money, so you can manifest the money you want without having to be acting like a man to do it, okay? And thank you guys for allowing me to be your host for today. You are watching Fi Movie and Money. We are here Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please like and subscribe and make sure to text the word Queens to QUEENS to 87948. That is Queens, QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want other freebies, courses, and guidance, you can find all of that on our website at flynubianmoney.com and listen to us on Spotify if you want to listen to us on the go. I'm Athena. We are co-queens with Erica and Linda Husser, and that is us for today.